Oh, yeah. Welcome into Colby Sapp's Mystery Shotgun. I am your host, Colby Sapp, along with Pod Racer Tim. Dude, have we got some shit to talk about?
Do we?
Holy crap. All right. So the Venom 3 trailer was released.
All right.
And it has a lot of stuff in it, a lot of little Easter eggs in it. And before I get there, let me back up. I found out, and had this last week, but didn't get into it. I found out some things about Madam Web that made everything fit into place. Madam Web it's bad. It's real bad. It's real bad.
It's disappointing.
It's not good. It feels like there's some, good banter going on.
Right.
But the whole plot and everything feels like it was edited together by a dude who decided to see how much Florida meth he could consume before he put it together. Like it's nonsensical, doesn't make a lot of sense.
Is Florida meth better than the rest of the country meth?
Man, because the stories that come out of Florida, I'm guessing. I'm just guessing.
Try me some Florida meth.
But I found out why it was like that. That wasn't the movie that they shot. That wasn't the movie that they were doing. That wasn't anything of what they planned.
Really?
They had everything ready to go to, during Madam Web, have a Spider-Man in there.
What happened?
Actually, at one point in the movie, there's a shot of a young Peter Parker. And they were going to time loop, and then he was going to show up, and it was going to... Yeah.
Right.
The big heads at Sony said, "You can't do that. Sorry, we made a mistake. We're going to do that in the next Venom movie. So y'all can't do that."
So that was the redheaded stepchild of the movies.
So they took the movie. They had all these things shot. They've still got to release it because they have a budget, right? And it's too late. So they're like, all right, cool. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to release it, and then y'all can go about your merry way. But sorry, we screwed up. And that's what Madam Web happened. Here comes in Venom 3, which if you saw the trailer, there was a couple things in there that made me go, oh, well, what's that? And one of them being that near the end of the trailer, he says, there's more coming. Mm-hmm. Like you can see there's more like meteorites falling from the sky. So there's more symbiote on the way, which I'm hoping leads to, there's been a lot of symbiotes throughout comic book history.
Right.
And they've latched onto different people and made different things happen. There's a whole bunch of times where, like other people have gotten a hold of Venom or become anti-Venom or whatever. Right. And I've got a few favorites that I'm rooting for. Scream, Agony, Phage, Riot, Lasher. Those are all my favorites because they all appear basically in the same comic book run.
Right.
Hoping that's them. What I don't think's coming out of the sky, which would just blow everybody away, is if it was Null, which is the basically king of all the symbiotes. He's their god. He shows up, then the whole thing's canceled. But during the I just wanted to throw that in as things that I wanted to see. Mm-hmm. During the trailer, there's one guy that's on a bus that they just show randomly. The guy that's on the bus is Rise Ifans. That's the actor's name.
Right.
He was in Amazing Spider-Man 2. No, or was it 1? I think it was 1. He was the Lizard. He played Kurt Connors. That ended up being the bad guy of that particular film. Right. And he's there as a young guy in the van with like longer hair, acting like a hippie, blah, 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 whatever, right? Doesn't look like his older self in what he did in Amazing Spider-Man. The other thing that's being bandied about is that, remember what I said, the young Peter Parker and then have him come back in didn't happen in Madam Web. They just shot to him but didn't explain anything about it. And that they were saving it for Venom 3.
Yeah.
Why are you going to have an actor from Amazing Spider-Man in the trailer just be on the bus unless the Peter Parker that you're going to have show up and be Sony's new Spider-Man was going to be Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield,
that makes sense.
Being that Spider-Man would be great. And this is all, it's all super theory, right? I'm just gluing things together.
Right.
Until Tom Hardy today decided to blow up the internet. He was talking to Variety. And he was like, yeah, I mean, Kevin Feige and those guys, they have their Spider-Man and we have ours too. Wait, what are you talking about?
I don't think he was supposed to say that.
We have ours too? Because I've been telling y'all for a while that I've heard background noise through the little bit of inroads that I have, is that Andrew Garfield is kind of their pick. They want to build their Spider-Man, their own version, their Spider-Verse version of the MCU. They want to build that with him. They just couldn't do it with the popularity of the Holland Spider-Man.
Right.
But they're also contractually obligated to produce so many Spider-Man films per however many years.
Right.
Or else they lose the rights to Spider-Man. So they have to do it. Well, Holland is like, I'm doing this other stuff with Marvel. I'm over here. And then you want me to make this movie. It's not always going to be available. So their option is to bring back or new Spider-Man to have for their own so they can keep the rights. What better way to do that than to, as it's already been implied throughout the, these little things in the background, that Venom and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man are happening in the same universe. Just maybe not on the exact timeline.
Right.
So if you end up having a young Peter Parker show up in the last movie of Venom, and then he gets older and the symbiote's still there, and somebody else, or he ends up having that Venom fight, time's not always a concern with comic book movies. You could actually have that happen. But I think this is where they're going, guys. That's where the tea leaves are pointing. Now, this is Sony, right?
Right.
Sony could totally just fucking change their mind like they did with Morbius. And they're just like, hey, vampire movie. Yeah, cut everybody up. Use all the blood you want to. Oh, never mind. We don't want blood. Just edit it out. He's slashing people in their throats and biting people, and there's no blood. Whatever. It's cool. By the way, just Craven on the whole Sonyverse, since I'm here.
Do it.
Craven is going to suck big donkey dicks. There's not going to be any reason to go see this movie whatsoever. Also, as I'm talking about things that could possibly suck, we can talk about the new Captain America movie.
What? Is this with Blackton America?
This is with Falcon being Captain America.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's going to, but test audiences didn't like it so much, guys. So much that their whole bunch of reshoots are happening.
No.
But with reshoots, they always make it better.
Not.
I'm not saying it's going to fail. I am saying it doesn't look good. It's not Craven doesn't look good where they're now on their 8th time rewriting it and figuring what they're doing out. And it's mostly because Sony doesn't know what they're doing with their big toys. I think that music plays a lot in Sony, by the way, as they're just all running around. They're the new Warner Brothers.
This is very disappointing news to hear, though.
I don't know what to do. Now they could get it all right, and it could be amazing, and everybody's happy. I'm just hearing word that
F you.
There's a little panic going on with the mouse ears with this.
So,
and the Acolyte's not helping him.
Okay, look. By the way, I get they use test audiences.
Yes.
Every movie has test audiences. Should they put so much stock into test audiences?
I mean,
because this is supposed to be about the director and his vision for this movie. In some, I'm not saying in every case. I know that every movie has its own whatever troubles. But why can't they just let a movie be the movie that they put out?
I kind of wish they would, but in other instances, both of them being DC related,
right?
It did stop us from seeing baby death twice.
Okay, maybe we should have seen it.
We just go back and kill Henry Cavill as a baby.
Yeah.
Or then kill Aqua Baby.
Well, I mean, did any of us want to see Aqua Baby?
I mean, I liked Muppet Babies.
Is Aqua Baby a baby Kermit the Frog? Now that would have been funny.
That would have been amazing.
If just the baby in the movie was just a Kermit the Frog Muppet.
Just called him Tadpole.
Yes, please.
So there you go. There is what I've got for those on Facebook that wanted to know what I was talking about when I put up that Andrew Garfield looks like this is happening. That's what I've got.
It's disturbing.
That's what I think is happening. That's all. Cross our fingers that Sony gets their shit right and we get an amazing Spider-Man 3.